Welcome back to the Fiscal Axiom. Do you remember girl math? Back in 2024, it was a joke. It was a cute viral trend where we rationalized spending $500 on a handbag because the cost per wear was less than a coffee. We laughed, we stitched the videos, we bought the bag. But that was child's play. That was human rationalization. Welcome to 2026. The algorithm is not laughing anymore. We have graduated from girl math to something far more dangerous. We are now operating on AI math. And unlike girl math, which was you lying to yourself, AI math is a supercomputer lying to you, and it knows your brain chemistry better than you do. Today, we are dissecting how shopping algorithms have weaponized your dopamine against you. We're going to expose the endless aisle trap, the predatory logic of today's buy now, pay later agents, and the specific 72-hour analog rule you need to stop bleeding money. If you think you're in control of your wallet right now, honestly, you are already losing. To understand how we got screwed, we have to look at the timeline. 2 years ago, girl math or boy math was an internal monologue. It was active cognitive dissonance. You had to actively convince yourself that buying a jet ski was a financial investment in your mental health. But here in 2026, you don't have to convince yourself of anything. The AI does it for you before you even realize you want the product. Look at TikTok Shop. Back in 2024, they generated about $9 billion in gross merchandise value in the US. Massive, right? Fast forward to today, 2026, that number has nearly doubled. How did they do it? Did we suddenly need twice as much stuff? No, they stopped selling products. They started selling micro-identities. The shopping assistants we use today don't wait for you to search for running shoes. They analyze your watch time, your voice inflection in videos, and even your typing speed to predict when you are most vulnerable to a dopamine hit. Then they present the purchase not as a cost, but as a solution to a problem you didn't know you had. This is the core of AI math. The algorithm calculates the exact price point where your pain of paying is lower than your desire for the dopamine hit. It's not, if I pay cash, it's free.
It's if the AI says this creates the optimal me, then not buying it is a loss. And the scariest part? We trust these digital assistants. You aren't fighting a salesperson anymore. You are fighting a mirror that reflects a better version of yourself for only 4 easy payments of $19.99. Speaking of payments, that leads us to the second weapon in their arsenal. The reason why you can afford a lifestyle that mathematically should bankrupt you. Let's talk about algorithmic credit. In the old world, getting credit was a friction point. You applied, you waited, you got judged by a static number. That friction was a safety valve. It gave you time to think. But 2026 killed friction. We are seeing the rise of micro-underwriting. Remember back in early 2024 when Klarna announced their AI assistant was doing the work of 700 full-time human agents? That was just the beta test. Today, the algorithm isn't checking if you can afford the item in the long run. It is calculating if you can scrape together the first payment right now. It is AI math at its finest. $200 isn't $200 anymore. It's 4 payments of $50. Or even better, just $50 today. This reframes the price. Your brain stops registering the total cost. You aren't buying a jacket. You are buying a subscription to the feeling of having a jacket. Here is the dark truth about these AI models. They don't want you to be debt-free, but they also don't want you to go bankrupt. Bankruptcy is bad for business. If you default, they lose. So the AI calculates your exact financial breaking point. They want to lend you exactly enough money to keep you on the hook, making payments, generating late fees, staying engaged, but not quite enough to make you crash the system. You are being engineered into a state of sustainable insolvency. You feel like you're managing. I can make the payments, you say. That's the AI math talking. Because while you're managing the payments, you aren't building wealth. You are renting a lifestyle from an algorithm that knows your bank balance better than you do. So, they have optimized the logic, they have optimized the funding, now they need to optimize the trigger. Welcome to the dopamine menu. In 2026, e-commerce platforms don't have stock in the traditional sense. They utilize what we call endless aisle technology. But I'm not talking about drop shipping from overseas. I'm talking about the presentation of the aisle. Let's say you're feeling down. Maybe it's 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. Your biometric data shows elevated cortisol and a lower heart rate. The shopping algorithm detects this state. It knows this is vulnerable state B. It doesn't show you a vacuum cleaner. It shows you a self-care bundle with calming aesthetics, soft lighting, and ASMR unboxing audio. It's not selling you the lotion. It's selling you the relief from your Tuesday night anxiety. This is the psychological trap. You aren't purchasing for the utility of the product. You are purchasing for the hit. And here's where AI math gets truly dangerous. The AI can quantify the high. It knows that for you, specifically, a $40 purchase gives you a dopamine spike that lasts approximately 20 minutes. A $200 purchase? Maybe 3 hours. So it feeds you the exact items that fit your current dopamine deficiency. It is a bartender that knows exactly when you need another drink and exactly how much cash you have left in your pocket. We used to call this retail therapy, but therapy implies healing. This isn't healing. This is a feedback loop designed to extract capital from your emotions. So how do we break the loop? How do we fight a supercomputer that can read our pulse? You have to go analog. Look, you are bringing a primitive lizard brain to a fight against a quantum-powered sniper rifle. You cannot win on willpower alone. Willpower is a muscle. It gets tired. The algorithm never gets tired. So we don't fight fair. We cheat. We change the terrain. Here are 3 specific strategies to outsmart the 2026 commerce engine. Strategy number 1, the friction audit. The entire goal of AI commerce is to reduce the time between want and own to 0. One-click checkout, facial recognition payments, autofill credit cards. They want the purchase to be a reflex, not a decision. Your job is to break the reflex. I want you to go into your settings right now, Amazon, TikTok Shop, Instagram, Apple Pay, and delete your saved card information. Turn off biometric approval. Make it so that every time you want to buy something, you have to physically get up, walk across the room, find your wallet, and type in 16 digits like a caveman. That extra 60 seconds, that is the cooling off zone. That is where the dopamine spike drops just enough for your prefrontal cortex to wake up and ask, do I actually need a heated butter knife? Strategy number 2, algorithmic ghosting. Remember, the AI is feeding you products based on your data profile. If the input is garbage, the output will be garbage. Stop window shopping on your main account. If you are bored and just browsing, do it in incognito mode or logged out. Do not give the algorithm the data point that you are interested in vintage watches. If you stay logged in, you are training your enemy. Every second you linger on a product page is a signal. Every like is a signature. Confuse the model. Search for things you hate. Click not interested aggressively. Make yourself impossible to target. But those are just stalling tactics. If you really want to kill the impulse, you need the nuclear option. This is the only piece of math you actually need. I call this the 72-hour analog rule. Here's how it works. When you see something online that you want to buy, something non-essential, you are strictly forbidden from buying it digitally. You cannot add it to the cart. You cannot save for later. You must take a physical pen and write the name of the item, the price, and why you want it in a physical notebook. Then you close the notebook. You wait 72 hours. Why 72 hours? Because that is the approximate half-life of a commercially induced dopamine trigger. After 3 days, the slick video editing, the influencer's voice, and the limited time offer urgency have faded. You are left with just the item and the price. If you open that notebook 3 days later and you still feel that burning desire and you have the cash, go ahead. But I guarantee you, 90% of the time you will look at what you wrote and think, what was I thinking? You didn't want the product, you wanted the dopamine. And by writing it down, you transfer that energy out of the digital cart and onto paper where it couldn't hurt your bank account. This rule separates the consumers from the owners. Consumers react, owners decide. We are living in an era where the smartest minds of our generation are paid incredible sums of money to figure out how to make you push a button.
That is the reality of 2026. They have the data, they have the AI, they have the psychological map of your brain. But they do not have your consent unless you give it to them. AI math is a lie. It is a hallucination of affordability designed to keep you on a treadmill of consumption.
It tells you that you are investing in yourself, when really you are just subscribing to a feeling that expires the moment you open the box. Financial freedom in this decade isn't just about earning more money. It is about reclaiming your attention span. It is about realizing that every time you resist the algorithm, every time you use the 72-hour rule, every time you choose not to buy, you are winning a small war against a system designed to extract your wealth. Stop letting a microchip dictate your values. Stop using their math. Use your own. If you want to understand the psychology behind the money, and not just the numbers, make sure you are subscribed. But do it because you decided to, not because an algorithm told you to. I'll see you in the next one. Class dismissed.